Welcome to part 2 of the waterproof laminate flooring installation. We chose to use Pergo Outlast waterproof flooring. I'm going to try and zoom into the box a little bit closer. Now remember, I've got this camera on my head, so hopefully I can, capture it. Hopefully you can see that. But either way, just, use our friend Google, and that'll take you, directly to the type of flooring that's being installed here. And no different from any other vinyl flooring, you just, slide them together, and they pretty much snap in. And with this one, it's supposed to give you a waterproof bond. So I've already measured everything out so that the two ends pretty much fall into sync. So in other words, if you're going to end up with 12 inches, a 12-inch piece on one end on the top side, there's going to be a 12-inch piece on the other end of the flooring installation on the bottom side. So I already did that, and we can pretty much start laying down the flooring. One thing that I wanted to mention is that we're gonna piece these pieces together, and the only thing that is a bit concerning to me is that I have to go under the trim at the doorway. So if we can look up top to the top side where the door is, give me 1 second. I'm going to have to actually slide the trim underneath that part of the doorway, the trim piece. So it's going to be a little bit of, fitting in to make sure that I actually get under the trim and we're not revealing, the cuts. So we have that to deal with up there. But I think we'll be fine. Okay, guys. So as you can see, we have a straight line. This is a 90-degree angle. We made the cuts in the back, along the back here. And we followed the line. So the first row is 90 degrees and is square. So everything that we add on to that will be square. All right, so when I get back to you, we'll start these rows and see if we can complete this project. All righty. Okay, guys, so we got the floor down. It's a little bit of a rough time to get around the underparts, under the trims and everything, like the piece of door trim here, to actually get under it. But nothing that you can't do. Just putting the pieces together as we go along. See, around here I try to maintain this a little bit of space on the edges for the shifting. Over here by the transition, over here we just have one more piece to put in, a thin piece. And then we'll lay the transition board in between there. I'll show you that when we're doing it, so you get that part. Now we just got the trims, quarter round trims. All right, so it can be done, and you can do it. So here I installed the trim. The trim has been caulked. Okay, caulk's been applied. Only on the tops, nothing on the bottom where the actual floor is. So we did that going all the way around. Okay. Coming around to the doorway. Okay, so we're missing some baseboard molding there. We'll get to that. But if you come back around to the other side, same thing here, baseboard, we'll apply baseboard molding here. But here, where there's some damage, we'll put some joint compound in there. And we'll fix that up. A little compound tape as well. All right, and then that you won't notice anything under that, once that's done. All right, but it looks good. Coming down here, the threshold piece for the doorway, we'll get that fitted in a little bit better. Quick update on the trim. That side was done. I caulked that side as well. Okay. Just did some miscellaneous spackling up there in preparation for more painting. So coming around this corner now, like I told you, it's just basically 45-degree cuts to meet up your angles, like here. And just, fit everything. So one of the things you got to be careful of is, you're going to have a piece of trim on top, but you want to be careful and plan your cut like here to be on the bottom. So I didn't do that in this case, so this is going to have to lay on the top because my 45-degree cut is, as you can see in the corner, is made with planning to lay it that way. So I can't flip it around, obviously. So when you make those cuts, those angle cuts, if you're going to do any cutting on the trim itself here, just keep that in mind. Down here, again, in the bottom in the corner, I'm going to have to make a little cut there to just, if I zoom in, just like about there. I just did a rough estimate. I can always caulk over that. And that'll take care of that. So again, I won't go through all the details, but once I make my cuts and everything and fit the trim pieces, it's gonna look just like this, and then I'll caulk in anything that I think may need caulk. I generally would run the caulking across the entire piece of trim just to make sure that everything flows seamlessly. So that's what's been done here. Okay, YouTubers, as I said, I'm not going to show you the whole process, but let me hook up the nail gun, and I'm just going to show you how easily this goes in once we got it together. So I made the cut over here on the bottom end. I'm being careful to not to point this gun at myself or anyone. That's where it's going to fall. I'm going to give it as much push into the corner as I can. I could put something back there to brace it so that in the corner it comes up tight, because for some reason it's not right now. I may do that. You could put a little piece you could put a little piece just to brace it here in the corner. But let's just fasten it to the wall. Let me be careful to point this away from myself. Hand out of there. I'm not happy with this corner, so I'm going to go and do something to brace that corner. Just give me a second. So here I disconnect the air gun because I'm going to step away from it. That's just for safety, and I recommend that you do that anytime you walk away from these airtight products. And then I just reconnect it when I return. Okay folks, so let me just make sure this is even on top. Okay, that's good. Let's just finish up our nailing. We know that down below there's a track for the studs up here. We're just going to nail into the wall. And that's good enough. Here in the corner we'll put caulking, white caulking, which is paintable, and then we'll trim out the top to mimic the other side over here, like we did here, and we'll caulk the top of that, and then we'll be done. Also, if you see down below here, before I put this trim on, I did put some caulk in the corner edge along here, just because this is at the door, and just as a backup to keep cold air from coming up. So we did put clear corking in there. Okay. One other note to mention, I know that you can notice that there is some damage on the sheetrock on the, that is not an issue at all. We'll just refloat this with some joint compound. Maybe we'll put some tape on it first or some sort of netting, and then we'll put some joint compound and we won't even know that that was there. Okay folks, so as you can see, we took care of first coat of joint compound to take care of those indentations. Now we're going to put on a piece of trim here. Be careful to keep your fingers away from Okay, so basically that's it. We'll continue same process throughout. We'll do this side, we'll finish up on this side, and that'll be it for the trims. And of course this will get a second coat. So we're doing a quick update where we are. We got the floor down. See, it's all done here in the corner. We floated out with a little bit of joint compound, the holes that we mentioned. So we got this all sealed up, and we're ready to paint the trims here. So that turned out pretty good. We're going to change these trims here, the doorway, and then that'll be it. Okay, so this is the finished product. You can see the trim's been painted. The walls have been painted. So we're completed with this project now. Okay, all the way around, everything's been done. What a transformation. Okay. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and until my next video and the next project that I decide to tackle, I'll definitely take you along.